Alright guys, another video on adding integers for you. We're going to look at some more types of problems because these take a lot of practice actually. So we're going to look at a problem that looks like this. Let me show you. Let's say we had -3 plus -6. Okay, so again it's an adding problem. You see we're plus, we've got an addition here. We're doing -3 plus -6. Well, let's think about it visually first. If we think about what that looks like. Okay, here's our visual. We're imagining 3 negatives and 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3. Here's 3 of them. And we're going to add them on to 6 more negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So really, when you look at the picture, you're like, oh, okay, well then all together I see 9 negatives, I guess. There's no 0 pairs. Nothing's going to go away. So my answer is -9. Turns out that this is going to lead us into another rule connected to adding integers. When we have the same signs, all we end up doing is adding the numbers together. 3 plus 6 is 9, and then we keep the sign. So to give you a second example, I could show you with all positive numbers. It feels a little silly sometimes to do all positive numbers because this is how we first learned to add. Like if I told you I had 5 plus 3, you don't start thinking about negatives and positives. You just say, oh, 5 plus 3, that's 8. You always just add them together. But if you really did want to think of them as negative and positive numbers, here's how you would think of them. 5 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 positives. 1, 2, 3. And then you look at the picture and say, well, in my visual, here's my visual, all together, I see 8 positives in that picture. So kind of leads us to this next rule, and I think for our notes, since you're writing notes, I hope while you're watching this video, I'm going to put a cloud over here, a little thought bubble, and the rule with adding numbers that have the same signs is just add them and keep the sign. So if you have the same sign, as in they're both negative numbers or they're both positive numbers, same sign, you add and keep. Add and keep. All right, same signs, add and keep. But if it's different signs, you subtract, and that was in our last video on this. So why is this rule helpful? Well, because I'm not going to always want to draw these visuals. This is great with small numbers. It's not great with decimals and fractions. It's not great with really big numbers. So we have to kind of keep that in mind. Let's use the rule. Let's do an example 3. So imagine I told you I have -17 plus -8. Okay, well now I'm going to look at the problem and say, okay, I'm adding, and they've got the same signs. They're both negatives. If I want to think of the visual, I'm thinking of 17 negatives. That's a lot of negatives. I don't really feel like drawing them all. Plus 8 more. That's a bunch that I don't really want to draw. So let's just add this up. Let's do 17 plus 8. Well, 17 plus 8 is 25. But we're talking negatives. So this is -25. And that's our answer. Okay, so it's time for you to try now. I'm going to give you some questions, and we'll see if you can do them. So we're going to write, you try. I'm going to give you 3 questions. I'm going to give you an A, a B, and a C. And if you need to draw the visual, it's allowed. Like, you can do that. But if you can do it without and use the rule, even better. You'll get faster at these. So here are your 3 questions. For A, what is -42 plus -6? For B, what is -5 plus 3? And for C, what is -8 plus -11? Can you pause the video and try all 3, and then we'll check your answers? Okay, so I'm hoping you tried all of them, and you're unpausing the video and you want to see if you got them right. Well, first off, when I look at these problems, A looks like what we're practicing in the video. Same signs, they're both negative numbers. So does C, same signs, they're both negative numbers. So the rule is same signs, add and keep. We're going to add 42 plus 6, that is 48. But we're going to keep them negative because they're all negatives. Down here, we're going to add 8 plus 11. That's 19, but they're all negative. The one problem in the middle, problem B, is from a previous video. These are different signs. They don't match up. One of them's a -5, one of them's a +3. So I'm remembering those rules in my head that say, different signs, I need to subtract. 5 take away 3 is 2. It might be helpful to have a visual on this one. Think of the 5 negatives. You would have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to draw them real small there. There's 5 negatives and 3 positives. 1, 2, 3. What I'm noticing is that the 0 pairs are going to go away. I see the 0 pairs. And the last 2 that are left over, they're right there. They're negatives. So I better have a -2 for my answer. So different signs I got to subtract, but when they're the same signs, like the first and the last one here, I add and keep. And we're going to have another video posted on this really soon, but I hope this helped a little bit. And keep watching more videos, guys. Bye.